regulation come out, institutions are very receptive to that, and they just want to understand what are the rules for us. Followed by standards. It's very important to create technology and market infrastructure that is standardized, because it makes it easier for institutions to adopt and change as they need.
All right, turning to spot altcoin ETFs for our main story. This week, more spot crypto ETFs came to market in the US. That includes those tied to cryptocurrencies like Solana's SOL token and Canary Capital's spot ETFs tied to Litecoin and Hedera. Crypto World's Jordan Smith spoke with the asset manager's CEO, Stephen McClurg, about how those spot crypto ETFs are performing.
Good morning, y'all, and welcome back to my channel. Thank y'all so much for tapping back in to see what I have to say. And with that being said, what are we talking about? We're talking about Quant Network in this one, okay, you guys, and Hedera Hashgraph, my number two. Y'all, both of them have had some incredible news happen this week. Listen, I have been telling you guys now for almost a year and a half that the institutional capital is getting ready to flow through these networks, but more importantly, the institutions are coming. Both Quant and Hedera has had massive news this week in regards to institutional capital. Now, that is different from institutional utilization of the networks, because both of those things are coming. But this week, Hedera had incredible news. They were the third crypto in history to receive its own exchange traded product on the NASDAQ. That is insane. Out of 20 plus million different cryptos that exist in the world, Hedera was number 3 in the world receiving an exchange traded product from a regulated, regulatory compliant, literally process of how traditional people deploy capital in the world. Now, think about it. Now, I'm a younger millennial or middle to younger millennial, and then you have your Gen Z under me and your alpha. All of us are digital. All of us are on our phones. All of us do stuff on our phones. So when stuff pops off like getting inside Dogecoin, then you download Robinhood like everybody else is doing. But for your institutional investors, they don't move like those younger millennials. You have your older millennials, your Gen X, your even still boomers. They move with asset managers when they move their capital. Understand what's happening right now, that now you have a live exchange traded product for Hedera. Remember, I've been telling y'all, Hedera is going to be the brand name when people think of blockchain. No matter, there's going to be multiple other blockchains out there, but the way that Hedera is setting themselves up with government, central banks, and things that are already established brand names, it's going to indirectly make them a brand name. Truly see that their forecast of what's going to happen in Hedera's future over the next 5 to 10 years when adoption truly starts to happen. Truly see. But anyway, back to this week's news. So listen, I'm going to cut away to a video real fast of my boy Brandon the HBARBULL talking about Hedera literally getting a live ETF. I told y'all it was coming, and there's more coming after this. Follow me on a regulatory compliant, literally stock exchange. Like, truly let that really sink in. Let that weight hit you, okay, you guys, that this is incredible news. And to know Quant is right behind this one, because Quant literally got a filing for ETP in Europe. Like, these things are happening. Truly see, just stick around, hold on, and I will be right back.
The Canary Capital HBAR ETF, the spot ETF, just went live on NASDAQ today. We're going to take a look at some of the numbers around that.
All the flowers to Greg there, who spearheaded this relationship with Stephen McClurg and Canary Capital. He's been absolutely integral to this. He led off that first domino that led to now, 12 other ETFs that have filed that reference HBAR.
Well, one of the things that I have been preaching is that when we got to the point where we would have these ETFs, whether they're the spot ETFs like this or the basket ETFs, which we can talk about here in a little bit, I think that the type of investors that will be using these products, the HBAR and Hedera will resonate with them. These are going to be the early majority. You and I, Zep, and all the HBARbarians out there, we're the early adopters, right? We're getting to the point now where it's the early majority. We talk about crossing the chasm. That's what we're doing right now in the crypto space. And they're going to think of things a little bit differently, like the enterprise adoption around Hedera, the general professionalism, the council. Those are going to be the kind of things that resonate. And that was my theory, at least. And if we look at what's happening today, so I'm going to refresh real quick and take a look at what we're seeing as far as trading around the HBAR. I believe the assets under management had the price set at $25. That's what the price was before the market opened. And right now it looks like we're trading at a premium to that. And that's very good for the HBAR, because that means to balance the books, Canary is going to have to go out there and buy additional HBAR. But if we look at, we are just over an hour since it's been trading, and we are at 169,000 shares. So
I want to start with the news of the week for you guys. These new ETFs, both Hedera and Litecoin coming to market. They're more niche than maybe, say, Bitcoin or Ether, but this is a time when we're seeing more and more crypto ETFs come to U.S. markets. Why was right now the time to bring them into the market and to list them?
HBAR, we felt like was really interesting because you've got Bitcoin, you've got now Litecoin as well, which is money. You've got Ethereum and Solana, which is more protocol transactions, but HBAR is the largest enterprise transaction software. And it's really not even a blockchain, what other people might think about it. It is a cryptocurrency, but it is a different type of information gathering input-output system. And we wanted to bring that to market because it's been utilized very broadly in enterprise for years. And it was important to bring that to market pretty early, given its importance as number one, a top 20 token, but also as the top enterprise token. So we thought it was important to bring it as soon as the SEC released their generic listing standards, which was about a month ago, but we do feel like that they've been very successful. HBAR, for instance, the ETF has been putting up very strong numbers as far as trading volume. If you look at the broad universe of ETFs, not comparing it to Bitcoin or Ethereum, it's put up very strong numbers in the world of ETFs. We've seen about $8 million of volume a day, which is fantastic for a brand new ETF. As a matter of fact, even yesterday was the premiere of the second Solana ETF, which is a much larger market cap currency. And the trading volume for HBAR was actually higher than that Solana product. So we're actually seeing it's actually greater than what we expected for that. But we do expect these to be more of a marathon, not a sprint. As people learn about them and hear about them, we do expect volume to continue to stay constant. I believe today we've already hit 40 million in AUM for HBAR, which is a massive win, in my opinion, given that these are not top 5, but top 20 tokens.
Now, you guys just heard everything that my boy Brandon, the HBARBULL, and I believe that was Zepsi, said in regards to this monumental historic news of Hedera now being right at the precipice of this adoption curve, and truly see that as this institution start to lean more into the realm of quote unquote crypto, they're not going to go to a Coinbase. They're not going to go to a crypto.com. They're not going to go to KuCoin. They're not going to go to these. I'm like, just really think about this, because they're going to go with the name that already holds their other assets. They'll start going to when a Canary Capital, or then when a BlackRock, and then when Fidelity and Charles Schwab and Merrill Lynch, because y'all, they all coming. Because the way that Hedera has set themselves up, Just look at the governing council and look at what each governing council member is now building out a use case on top of Hedera. Truly see what that means for adoption of that technology. And now you have them being named in multiple governmental things. Think about it. They were named when the White House did their first crypto true press conference or press release just a few months ago. There were 3 cryptos named, and Hedera was one of them. Truly see what's happening. Now you have the Bank of England. Out of the 6 cryptos that's on there, or 6 crypto products that's on there, Hedera is one of them. We're talking about out of 19 million different cryptos that they could be chosen from, in multiple different layer ones that could also be chosen from. But see, you keep seeing Hedera's name, even with things like the Global Blockchain Business Council. Hedera being a part of that. There's another video that's coming out that I have coming out, and it's another process that out of 500 institutions, Hedera is the only cryptocurrency. Like, follow me. I got that video coming out this week. Follow me, y'all. Hedera's doing incredible things globally, but not what y'all all came here for. Quant Network. Truly see, y'all. Truly see that Quant Network and what is now being laid out. And if you remember, and you may not remember, I did a video about this, and this was almost 2 years ago. It was in January. It was in January 2 years ago. And what it was Quant Network's CEO was meeting with, it was a UK group. I can't remember the name of the group, but what it was the largest asset managers basically in the UK. It was worth something like, it was a ridiculous number, like $8 trillion or something along those lines. But Gilbert Verdian was going there and he was presenting to these people. Understand what was presented to them. Overledger and whatever the vision was of Quant Network during that time, which was incredible because they already had things like Project Rosalind done. They already had things like the RLN done. Like, truly understand and see. They had things like Enbridge that they could boast about. In this group of these huge financiers, now understand that in that same region, they're starting to get ETPs deployed, which is the same thing in America as a ETF. Understand the institutional capital that's going to be flowing through these networks in 2 different ways. You're going to have the institutional capital from the utilization of the networks and the processing through those networks. It's going to be insane. But then you're going to also have, there's another realm of institutional capital, which is coming from the investment side. And because you're going to have some very future facing millennial Gen Zers and boomers that understand when they see, well, I already invest in Google and I already invest in IBM. And, you know, I think my friend was just telling me about that ServiceNow company and all these things that Hedera is tied to. That, like, truly see that. And now Quant Network, they go and start seeing, what about Quant Network? What is Quant Network? First thing that pops up, the Bank of England. Like, truly see what is happening right in front of our faces, you guys. I'm going to play this video from my boy Maximus Crypto. Bro, you rock. And I will be right back.
Recent announcement from Sebastian that was just dropped not that long ago. He states this, quote, so Velour Funds, which if you're not aware who they are an issuer of digital asset exchange traded products, now offers QNT ETP. Yes, exchange traded product, ladies and gentlemen. And like Sebastian mentions, and yet you sleep. Why is this so important? For one, if an exchange traded product ETP for Quant is launched, it would have several implications for the token and its ecosystem. Number one, increase accessibility. An ETP would allow investors to gain exposure to QNT without directly owning or managing the cryptocurrency. It would trade on regulated stock exchanges, making it accessible to traditional investors, including institutional ones, who may avoid direct crypto purchases due to regulatory, custody, or technical barriers. Number two, liquidity boost. ETPs typically increase liquidity for the underlying asset. With QNT packed into an ETP, Trading volumes could rise as it becomes easier to buy and sell through brokerage accounts, potentially reducing price of volatility over time. Price impact. All right. This might have been the main thing you're looking for. The launch could drive demand for QNT as ETP providers would need to hold the token to back the product. This could lead to upward price pressure, especially if the ETP attracts significant investment. However, the extent depends on ETP size and market adoption. Here's the actual official one from Valor. Talks about the Quant SEK. Valor Quant QNT SEK is an exchange-traded product that tracks QNT, the native token of the Quant network. Yes, QNT, that token that you hold, that you've been flooded through for the longest time, that you want to see something happen. Quant is a blockchain interoperability platform that links different blockchains. We know that. Legacy systems. But it helps businesses, banks, and institutions build blockchain solutions while ensuring compliance, security, and scalability. QNT token is used to access the network, pay for licenses, and secure transactions within the ecosystem. Even from the Quant network, like it says, they recognize that you have this whole thing of tracking QNT, the native token. So this is very, very big to see this.
Now you guys just saw that coming from my boy Maximus Crypto and my other brother Sebastian. We do X Spaces every so often on Tuesday. So whenever we do one, y'all come out, catch them. Like, they be on fire. They really, truly do. Okay, you guys, we talk about Quant. We talk about HBAR, XRP. Like, it's basically, it's kind of sort of like I said on my boy Rue Black show. Like, I called us the YouTubers of value. And what I meant by that was we're the ones that basically solely only talk about ISO, the ISO tokens, no matter if it's, ZBAC, you can fall that in there because that's like payments and they have a real structure behind them as well. And I'm sure that, trust me, if ZBAC is doing payments, then they're ISO compliant. Like, duh, it's like, it's a no-brainer. But anyway, so check us out, okay? You guys, like on Tuesdays, it used to be every Tuesday. It may be every other Tuesday or so, but just come check us out because we have some fire, and most of the time we talk about Quant because Quant is incredible. There is nothing like it. Like, even see, like I was saying right before I cut away. Think about it. Think about when someone truly starts to deal a deep dive into Quant. Like, say for instance, it's somebody who sits in some investment portfolio or someone who works for some type of financial institution and their boss or this person that's getting ready to deploy capital say Quant Network. Let me see. Let me Google them. Quant Network. Boom, 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 boom. One of the first things that pop up is the Bank of England. That's drawing already. Like, wait a minute, what? They did what with the Bank of England? And then do a little bit more. Wait a minute. They're doing things with the ECB as well, the European Central Bank, providing infrastructure. And like, wait a minute, hold on, stop. They have a global standard, ISO TC 307, literally the global standard for building on blockchain. Wait a minute. They have a technology called Overledger that is now being tied to multiple central banks, governments, multinational corporations, and investment firms. Think about it. The video I just brought you guys about BlackRock and the London Stock Exchange. Why is Quant Network there? They are there because they are sitting in the realm of literally critical infrastructure. Why? Because this is a technology that they have been building out in the background for almost a decade that is now at the time and at the point of true public deployment. Think about it. Overledger launched 2 years ago. Okay, that was the launch. There will be more and more adoption as think about Overledger on its 10th birthday. That's 8 years from now. Truly understand and see what the adoption curve is going to be for this space. And now you have things from Quant Network like, you're still Googling? What? They're providing tokenized deposits for the 6 largest banks in the UK. This is interesting. This Quant Network company is interesting. So Keep on digging. Wait a minute. They were a part of Project Meridian? They were a part of Project Rosalind? Wait a minute. They're now being tied back to Project Agora and Project Enbridge. These are all literally the Bank of International Settlement, literally trials of cross-border digital payments in multiple different ways. Some of those projects were with the Meridian FX was literally the RTGS systems. I believe it was 5. I did a video about it. 5 or 6 central banks. Okay, like literally the real-time gross settlement systems of the central banks. I did a whole video about it and how they were now being interoperated with each other. How? Overledger, Quant Networks, software as a service. Think about it. So then you start diving a little bit more. And you're like, wait a minute, they just had a couple launches just last month. Wait a minute. So now they have Quant Fusion, which is a multi-blockchain roll-up, bringing it into one hemisphere or time zone, literally pulling all the strengths from the blockchain, taking away all the weakness from those individual blockchains, and basically making a super chain. Think about what's happening. That is tied back to global standards and internet protocols. And I'm not just saying that. ISO, TC 307, secure asset transfer protocol coming out of the IETF. Like, understand, when you really start Googling Quant Network and these things start popping up and you are sitting in the realm of a traditional investor, truly understand and see the red flags that are going to go off, because most people may not know what a BIS is. But for someone who has money, I'm sure they know who the Bank of International Settlements is. Most people may not understand truly what a central bank is, because most people in the world hear the word central bank. They know one is in power over their country and currency, but they don't truly understand what a central bank is. It's like the one in America. It's not government owned. It's not owned by any type of federal or anything. It's just called the Federal Reserve. It is a private company that was signed into law that they are the only ones in the world that can create American currency. Just like every other central bank in the world. Private companies. Like, truly understand and see, it is like, just even here, like there's families that still eat from the Federal Reserve right now today. Like, truly understand and see that you have something like that being implemented, but being implemented globally. We're talking about global financial system. We're talking about truly the onboarding of the 4th industrial revolution. And I'm not just saying that, I'm not just talking, I'm being real. And you have players now getting ETPs and ETFs for the institutional level of this game to begin, because that's what's happening right now. This first 15 years and this first $4 trillion, that was real cute retail. Now it's time for the big boys with real capital. That, just like, think about it, the DTCC settles $11 trillion a day. That's one entity. That's not Pay UK. They're settling also whatever they're settling for the UK. The DTCC alone, the Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation of America, settles $11 trillion a day. Think about the institution. They settle that per day. We sit at $4 trillion overall. Understand the institutional capital that has the capabilities to flow through these networks. And now understand you have a Hedera and a Quant and multiple other ISOs and other projects of value actually creating real world utility to customers who have humongous real world customer bases. Us, you guys, truly see what's getting ready to happen. Okay, and I know this is a bit long of a video, and I'm sorry, but there was just incredible news, both Quant Network and Hedera, both getting these institutional players attention enough for things to actually go live and things to be being filed for. Because remember this, Valid was one of the first ones to actually go live with a ETP for Hedera in Europe, and that was about 6 or 7 months ago. So now think we're 6, 7 months away where Quant may have an ETF coming from US. Like truly see the trajectory of where all this is going based off of the history that's already played out. Okay, you guys, I appreciate every single one of you. And if you made it all the way through this whole long video today, type in once again QNT and HBAR, because both of them, you guys, knocking it out of the park. Till the next time, y'all already know. I appreciate y'all. Peace out.